So you see what those are based on, right? Assumptions. So therefore, and it is these assumptions that consolidate the way in which we think about ourselves and also the way in which we think about others. And these assumptions are all ultimately linguistic. If you think about it, it's all a play of language. It's all a play of language. Yeah? So now I have started saying, when people ask me, why don't I smoke? I tell them, because as it is, I'm smoking hot. Sorry, I'm too hot anyway. Can't you see? So therefore, what is really going on then is it's preposterous. Now, what Butler does is that they now begin to understand that what lies at the base is language. There are other theorists that Butler has access to. So Butler definitely uses Simone de Beauvoir. Butler uses Luce Irigaray. Subsequently, Butler will also use Michel Foucault. So Butler uses a lot of these theories. But basically, when they are using these theorists, the one thing that they are focusing on is that the theorists who have gone before Butler, their theories have been based on certain assumptions, including Foucault. And Butler is very sort of annoying to read because when Butler starts to praise a theorist, please be aware, she will kill that theorist. The moment you find Butler praising a theorist, please be aware, in the next paragraph, they are going to say something pretty lethal about that theorist. So Butler is going to say, oh, isn't Simone de Beauvoir lovely? And then the very next moment they're going to say, oh, but you see, when Simone de Beauvoir says one is not born a woman but becomes one, did Simone de Beauvoir ever get it into her head that one that is not born a woman but becomes one, in Simone de Beauvoir's head, that one is already a woman because that one has been gendered female? Because I'm pretty certain that the Simone de Beauvoir did not actually think that the one is gender neutral. You see, in Simone de Beauvoir's head, the one is always already female. Simone de Beauvoir was not an advocate of trans rights, no? So therefore, one seems to be a gender neutral term, but in Simone de Beauvoir's head, that one is already gendered female. But if it is already gendered female, then I'm sorry, where is the becoming? It's already being. তাহলে তো becoming এর গল্পটা তো থাকছে না. So what we are calling a becoming is already a being. If something is already a being, then what is happening? Again, I go back to that word that I used at the beginning, stability. Yes. So ultimately, that is the stability that is being ensured. You're born female, you are becoming a woman, but that becoming is no longer, what I find really horrifying now is that you have an extraordinary breed of feminists that are now running amok across England, particularly in England, but I hope it doesn't, this disease, I hope it doesn't spread to other parts of the world, but in England it's pretty bad. Now, these women are called TERF, T-E-R-F. Are you familiar with the term TERF, T-E-R-F? Trans-exclusionary radical feminists. Now, what these trans-exclusionary radical feminists are thinking is that our feminism should only be about women. I have got no problems with that. If you want to make your feminism only about women, absolutely no problem. But please define who the women are going to be. And then they're going to say, well, isn't it obvious? So I'm going to say no, because I'm an idiot. So it is not obvious. Please explain to me who is a woman. And they are going to say, well, we are interested in those who are born women. And I'm thinking, oh, wow. Okay. So Simone de Beauvoir published her book Le Deuxième Sexe, The Second Sex, in 1949, and in 2024 you are actually saying that there are people who are born women. Okay, wow. Simone de Beauvoir is spinning so fast in her grave. So fast. So you see that there is now a new bunch of feminists who are totally going against Simone de Beauvoir. And they're calling themselves a feminist. And they don't get it. So what the point is that these feminists, they think that they are the gatekeepers of correct feminism. ঠিকঠাক ফেমিনিস্ট হতে হবে, ভুলভাল ফেমিনিস্ট হলে হবে না। সো ঠিকঠাক ফেমিনিস্ট হচ্ছে যে our concern should only be about cis heterosexual women. That's it. We don't acknowledge any other kind of women. Wow. So if you are going to do your feminism only for cis heterosexual women, then I'm sorry, but you're leaving a lot of other women out, including the men, because the last time I checked, even men can be feminists. Hello, have we met? So therefore, you are going to exclude all of these kinds of women. You're only going to be interested in cis-het women. You're calling that feminism? How inclusive is that? Not very inclusive, is it? No. And then what we are actually looking at is Butler spends a lot of time talking about groups. Groups. Because Butler wants us to understand what a group should consist of. What is a group? And Butler is very, very clear about it. Butler says that a group is basically that organization where you do not start off by assuming who can belong to it and who cannot. So therefore, when we are saying that we are going to have a group, that group should potentially be open-ended. And if it is going to be an open-ended group, then therefore anybody can come in, anybody can go out, so therefore what Butler is talking about is that the group should not be like the mafia. So therefore, you know about the mafia, you can get in, but you can't get out. You get out feet first. যখন তোমাকে শুইয়ে নিয়ে যাওয়া হবে, that is the only way you can leave. You can't leave any other way. So therefore, that is something, and of course in Japan, you have their own version of the mafia. They call it the Yakuza. Have the body tattoos and all of that. They're pretty horrendous stuff, yeah. So therefore, feminism should not be a mafia. Feminism should not be a mafia. So therefore, if feminism is not going to be a mafia, then what is feminism going to be? Well, feminism is going to be a group in which everybody is welcome. Everybody. And when Butler is talking about everybody, Butler is literally talking about everybody. Men, women, trans, genderqueer. She doesn't care. They don't care. They don't care. So therefore, what is really happening then is they are saying that each group should therefore be characterized. It should be characterized by a sense of non-normativity. There should be no norm that the groups should adhere to. There should be no norm. So what is happening is that there is a certain kind of a structuralist energy that one finds in the way in which we think about groups. Butler is also making that post-structuralist. So post-structuralism therefore is feeding into all aspects of their theorization.